Bandits kill 10 farmers, kidnap Indian nationals, others in Niger. Police arrest 3 dogs and their owner over death of estate guard in Lagos State. National Association of Academic Technologists ABU Zaria branch embarks on peaceful protest to demand payment of withheld salary arrears. Away from Nigeria, Donald Trump elected United States President in stunning comeback. Good evening and welcome to the news update on Trust TV. I am Aisha Salihu. Thank you for joining us. The news in detail. We'll begin with matters of security. Bandits have reportedly killed at least 10 farmers, including women and children, from Wayam and Belu Belu villages in Rafi local government area of Niger State. Residents say 6 of the victims were beheaded while the attackers went away with their heads. They say many who sustained bullet wounds were being treated at a clinic in Kagara, the headquarters of Rafi local government area. It was also gathered that many people were kidnapped during the attack that happened around 4 a.m. on Tuesday when the victims were observing their early morning prayers. Locals say bandits have resumed aggressive attacks in the last 1 week as farmers from Wushishi, Rafi, Shiroro, Meriga, and Kotangora local government areas of the state began harvest of their farm produce. And now joining us via phone is Trust TV's Abubakar Akote to give us an update. Abubakar Akote, thank you so much for joining us on the news update.
Good evening.
Now, bandits have ravaged this community. I'd like to hear from you. What more have we learned and why is this happening at this moment?
As usual, every year there are communities in Shiroro, Rafi, Mariga, that extend to Kontagora usually experience incessant attacks once it is time for harvesting to harvest their crops. So in the last 1 week, bandits have resumed attacks on those communities, blocking Zungiru, Tegino, Kontagora, Tegino roads, kidnapping passengers. Last week Friday, a driver was shot dead between Zungiru and Tegna, while some passengers were abducted. Although the police spokesperson told us that 23 of the passengers were eventually rescued by security operatives, and then the bandits also were later blocked somewhere around Pondogari. Vigilantes and other security operatives have been trailing their movements. So they blocked them somewhere around Pondogari, and we learned that they're still roaming around that axis. Before yesterday's attacks, which police said that it was suspected to be a reprisal attacks due to onslaught by security operatives in the last 1 week.
Okay, Abubakar Akote, from what you have stated, it is public knowledge that during this time of the year, this season, bandits usually attack farmers. I'd like to hear from you, and the police is also saying it's a reprisal attack. If it's already in the news that then something may happen like this, how come the police didn't put, proactive measures in place just to avert this or to, curb it?
Government and security agencies will always tell us that they are doing their job, even though these people have continued to attack innocent community, innocent farmers day in, day out. The story they always tell us that they are always on top of the game, because even today the State Commissioner for Homeland Security, Brigadier General Bello Abdullahi Mohamed, told me that they were aware of those attacks, and all security stakeholders have been mobilized to address the situation and don't stop it from recurring. But each time they say this, as if the bandits and terrorists are waiting for them to say such, they come out again to attack. Madaka, the Wayam community that was attacked yesterday, just some few meters away from Madaka, that has suffered series of attacks. I recall that last year Madaka was attacked in broad daylight when people were in the market, and then many dozens of lives were lost in that attack before this one. So the farmers always expect this. When it's time for harvesting period, they usually experience these attacks. But vigilantes that they always have on ground to protect them are not always well equipped. One of the attack that have happened in the last 1 week, we were told that about 8 vigilantes who try to go after the bandits who have roasted cattle from some communities lost their lives, because they don't have as sophisticated weapons as the terrorists have.
Okay, thank you so much for bringing us up to speed on the latest development regarding the attack in Rafi local government area of Niger State. Thank you so much, Abubakar.
Thank you. Yes.
Still on security matters, the Borno State government says a total of 6,900 suspected Boko Haram fighters are in custody and awaiting transitional justice in the state. Transitional justice is a peace-building mechanism meant to address legacies of horrendous atrocities and end recurring cycles of violent conflicts through restitution, reconciliation, prosecution, amnesty, and other mechanisms. The Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Development, Zuwaira Gambo, who spoke at the end of Best Practice and Learning Dissemination Program organized by Al-Amin Foundation for Peace and Development, also said 200,000 Boko Haram terrorists and their families had surrendered to the state government between 2021 and now. She added that nearly 9,000 people inclined to the group were reintegrated into the society, saying the government reintegration scheme had recorded laudable success. Earlier, the Executive Director, Al-Amin Foundation for Peace and Development, Hamsatu Al-Amin, said the surrendered persons regretted being part of Boko Haram. She said the sect succeeded in recruiting them because they were ignorant and therefore susceptible to being brainwashed by the insurgents. She added that through the project Building Bridges of Reconciliation, a community-based approach to the radicalization of women and girls into Borno State, over 800 women were de-radicalized and are now contributing in peace building and general development of their respective society. The Federal Capital Territory Police Command has again assured residents of its determination to keep the FCT and its environs safe from all forms of crimes. The command's commissioner, Olatunji Disu, gave the assurance while parading car theft suspects, among them convicts, wanted armed robbery suspects, DSS impersonators, and one-chance suspects. Neil Sampson was at the parade of suspects and now reports.
A total of 23 suspects were arrested, with 23 exhibits, including 13 vehicles, recovered. The commissioner highlighted how the suspects were arrested.
It will interest you to know that the first 3 suspects belong to a gang of one-chance operators who specialize in masquerading as police and DSS officers. They pick up suspecting victims and take them to unknown destinations, demanding ransom for their release.
Some of the suspects narrated their involvement in the crime they were arrested for.
We met some Yahoo boys. Okay. Yes. We saw some Yahoo boys inside vehicle. We now stopped them. When we stopped them now, so we introduced ourselves as personnel. So along the, we just introduced ourselves as DSS personnel. So when I asked them to come down, they came down. When I asked them, are you a Yahoo boys? The boys admit yes. Say, okay, well, they don't want to go to office to settle here. So we now settle with them. They offer us money, we collect money from them. Then we ask them to do it.
Which office were you able to do that?
No office.
How much have you made from this?
Just only 400,000 that we collected from them.
You look fresh and well fed. Why?
Yes. It's just a temptation of seeing them.
A temptation of what?
It's just a temptation of seeing them doing it the way we saw in vigilante people doing it.
One 20,000, 140,000, 180,000.
Okay. So now from inside motor they collect that for big man?
No, if they work up or left. Yes.
You just collect some and run.
Run
If
and
the person
bush.
not give you the phone, what do you go do?
No, I go do it like this for now. I'm no chuka.
No motor issue.
Tell us about it. Just the top.
She dey bury and I ain't give me the car.
To do what? You give you car
To sell it. No, to sell it. Sir.
The commissioner used the opportunity to reassure members of the public of the command's commitment to defeat crime in all its form in the FCT. No, Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Detectives from the Lagos State Police Command have taken into custody 3 dogs and their owner over the death of a security man at Pinnock Estate in the Ilasan area of Lekki. The dogs were said to have mauled the security man to death on Tuesday, November 5. Reports say the dogs allegedly attacked the deceased, inflicting him with severe injuries. It was also learned that the victim died on the spot and was confirmed dead on arrival at an undisclosed hospital. The Lagos State Police Public Relations Officer, Benjamin Hundeyin, who confirmed the incident on his X handle, said the 3 dogs and the owner, one Salisu Mustafa, have been arrested. Hundeyin stated both the dogs and their owner were taken into custody by detectives from the homicide unit of the State Criminal Investigation Department, Yaba, pending the outcome of investigation. Kano State Governor Abba Yusuf has commended President Bola Tinubu for responding to public calls and releasing 76 detained minors arrested following the August 2024 End Bad Governance protest. In a statement issued by the governor's spokesman, Sanusi Dawakin Tofa, he expressed his deep appreciation for Tinubu's compassion, describing it as a magnanimous gesture toward the youth of Kano State. He stated this after receiving the teenagers at the presidential villa. Yusuf thanked President Tinubu for his understanding and for granting the minors a second chance. 73 minors arrested during the August 2024 protests in Kano State returned to the city on Tuesday night, accompanied by Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf. The minors will first undergo medical evaluations at Muhammadu Buhari Hospital in Kano before being reunited with their families. The National Association of Academic Technologists, ABU Zaria branch, has embarked on a peaceful protest to demand payment of their withheld salary arrears. The protest held at the Ahmadu Bello University main campus, Samaru, Zaria. The report.
During the protest, members displayed placards with inscriptions such as "Strike Alert to all NAT members, 3-day warning strike, stay at home, we are not slave but civil servant, we are not second-class citizens in the university, pay us our backlogged salary now." Other inscriptions include "Pay NAT and our sister unions our withheld salary as approved by Mr. President. Without NAT, no university practical or research will be carried out." Speaking during the protest, the chairman of the association, Comrade Ibrahim Tanko, said the action was sequel to directive by the national body. He said their 5 grievances include non-payment of 4 months' salaries that were withheld after members embarked on strike. Other demands include non-implementation of the 2009 federal government NAT agreement, outstanding arrears of occupational hazard allowance, and 14-15 promotion progression, which other universities have already implemented. Tanko added that the association is also demanding the arrears of responsibility allowance and student ratio.
We, the NAT ABU Zaria branch,
Yes, sir.
as directed by our national, today, 6th November 2024, we had our Congress, and we also had our referendum. Then the next thing now we are directed by the national body to do is to hold a peaceful protest. So we have done that. And then why are we protesting? It's because of our agitations. It's because of our grievances. It's because of our demand to the federal government. Number one, we went on strike and our salary has been withheld for 5.5 months.
Yes, sir.
Unfortunately, we just received 1 month withheld salary. So what now government is owing us is 4.5 months withheld salary.
Yes.
Also speaking, the secretary of the association, Murtala Tujani, said by next week, if nothing is done, the executive will proceed to Abuja for picketing, after which an indefinite strike action will be embarked upon if the federal government failed to meet its demand.
All these demands are nationwide. The whole of Nigerian universities are in this dilemma. The federal government has refused to honor the agreement it's willingly entered with the unions. And we are frowned at that. The federal government set a committee several times, and this committee sat down and agreed on things that are supposed to, that will bring unity and peaceful industrial harmony in the Nigerian universities. But the federal government refused to honor this agreement. Part of it is our withheld salary.
The association is basing its grievances on the fact that the federal government has released the salary of members for only 1 month, but out of 5 months owned by members. From Zaria, I am Abubakar Sadiq Muhammad, Trust TV News.
President Bola Tinubu has ordered the rescheduling of Wednesday's Federal Executive Council meeting. The council meeting was postponed in honor of Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, the Chief of Army Staff, who passed away on Tuesday night. General Lagbaja served as the Chief of Army Staff from June 19, 2023 till his death on Wednesday. President Tinubu ordered flags to be flown at half-mast nationwide for 7 days in honor of the departed Chief of Army Staff. Also on Wednesday, President Tinubu expressed his heartfelt condolences to the Lagbaja family and the Nigerian Armed Forces. He wished Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja eternal peace and honored his significant contributions to the nation. Minister of Defense described the departed Army Chief as a gallant soldier who would be missed because of his services and dedication to duty.
It's something highly regrettable, and the country as a whole, under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, did the very best for him to be alive with us today. But as we all know, we all belong to God, and it takes, as that when it feels necessary for him to do so. So it's on a very somber note that I'm talking this moment, because the entire Nigerian army is actually in a very sorrowful mood, having lost our leader, Lieutenant General T.A. Lagbaja. This was someone that gave his all to Nigeria. He was a selfless leader, very passionate about Nigeria, and he led the Nigerian army very well.
This is the news update coming up after the break. Present economic downturn hampers success of polio immunization in Katsina State. We'll bring you more news when we return. Stay with us. It's nice to have you join us again. Let's have another look at some of our top stories. We told you that bandits killed 10 farmers, kidnapped Indian nationals, others in Niger State. You also heard police arrest 3 dogs and their owner over death of estate guard in Lagos State. Moving on to other stories and to health matters. Stakeholders in polio immunization in Katsina State have identified economic hardship as impediments dragging success of the exercise in the state. Parents and caregivers resisting the immunization are mentioning economic predicaments as reasons for their actions, challenging the government to hasten efforts in rescuing Nigerians from hunger and abject poverty. Abdullahi Yamadi completes the report.
Though stakeholders believed that the immunization against polio is recording successes in Katsina, but not without some challenges which include resistance in some households and insecurity. Many households and caregivers could not take their children to routine immunization centers due to insecurity and economic hardship, biting harder on many Nigerian communities like Katsina, who are mostly low-income earners. This has testified to the urgent need for the review of some unfriendly economic policies such as fuel subsidy removal, uncontrolled inflation, coupled with exchange rate unification, among many other policies introduced by the federal government. The Katsina State Primary Health Care Agency officials, some other stakeholders such as Rotary International, believed that despite these challenges, the exercise is recording successes, calling on parents and caregivers to put behind their problems and present children for the immunization to have a healthy and vibrant population.
Polio virus was eradicated in the African region in 2020, but we still have some remnant of circulating mutant variant polio virus. So that is why we are engaging on this outbreak response to ensure that we don't have any child that is crippled with due to polio virus in Nigeria.
The current situation in the country, the economic situation, so many caregivers are not ready to release their children. But we really convince them that it has nothing to do with the economic situation, but this is something that we need to do for our children.
Stakeholders described the support they enjoy from the media, religious and traditional institutions as unprecedented, calling for its sustenance to achieve the desired goals. Abdullahi Yamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
And to developments away from Nigeria, Donald Trump has won the United States presidential election, defeating Kamala Harris in a stunning political comeback that will send shock waves across the world. The polarizing Republican's victory, following one of the most hostile campaigns in modern United States history, was all the more remarkable given an unprecedented criminal conviction, a near-miss assassination attempt, and warnings from a former chief of staff that he is a fascist. Vice President Harris, who only entered the race in July after President Joe Biden dropped out, ran a centrist campaign that highlighted Trump's inflammatory messaging and use of openly racist and sexist tropes, but his apocalyptic warnings about immigration and championing of isolationism found their mark, with voters battered by the post-COVID economy and eager for a change from the Biden years. Trump is the first president in more than a century to win a non-consecutive second term. He is also the only person to be elected as a convicted felon. He will face sentencing in a New York court for fraud on November 26. And in sports, the home-based Super Eagles have commenced the second phase of their campaign exercise ahead of the 2025 African Nations Championship qualifier against the Black Galaxies of Ghana. 26 players reported to the team's camp in Abuja on Tuesday, with 9 others expected on Wednesday. The training was supervised by Daniel Ogumodede and Fidelis Ikechukwu, with head coach Augustine Guavon out of the country for medical checkup. The home Eagles started preparation for the game against Ghana last week. They will take on their eternal rivals in both legs of the qualifier in December. The overall winners will advance to CHAN 2025, which will be co-hosted by Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And with that, we've come to the end of the news update on Trust TV at this hour. Remember, you can always follow us across all of our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentary. I am Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for watching.